I've been given a law that was passed and signed, and I'm asking what's the effect of this law versus no law. The first half of the book is looking at the different taxes that are in the law and try to gauge how important they are, what they're doing. There's a couple of quite large taxes that are, we call them implicit, you could call them hidden, taxes in there that really take away a lot of the reward for people to work and for businesses to hire. And the result of that is going to be less working and hiring. The single biggest tax in the law hasn't even been acknowledged, let alone analyzed. And it's an implicit tax. It's set up so that we have assistance for people typically only when they're not working. So working really takes away an opportunity for people to get assistance, and that amounts to a tax. It's not necessarily because the people are too rich, it's because they're working. This market idea, which is an old economics idea that has been neglected and analyzed in the health reform, goes back to Adam Smith, and I give an example in the book. It's actually an example we use in teaching economics all the time, and that's the occupation of being a barber. If you look at how barbers cut hair today, in a way it's quite old-fashioned. They use the same equipment. It's how they did it 100 years ago. Nevertheless, barbers make 10 times, adjusted for inflation, what they did 100 years ago. So how can that be? Well, the answer is that barbers have a choice. They don't have to be barbers. They could be, say, a farmer, where farming progress has been amazing. Each farmer can produce 10 times the number of bushels of corn or wheat than they could years ago. The marketplace says to barbers, look, we got to compensate you for being in this field where there hasn't been much progress. So really, almost the entire livelihood of barbers comes from progress outside of their industry. And the reason that applies to the health law is because the health law hits some of these sectors of the economy hard. But we can't assume that the other sectors that aren't directly affected are going to go by without noticing. They will notice because people have a choice to be in the sector that's hurt by the law versus another sector, and people are going to run out of, say, the sectors where there are being penalties or the subsidies aren't generous enough, and they'll run elsewhere in the economy, and that's going to drive down wages. It's going to hurt productivity, and really everybody will be less productive, even though the law doesn't really name them or their occupation or their situation. In my case, this is a timely topic. The law could be repealed at any time, and it would be a shame if my book were stuck in the production process while the law was repealed. And by the time it came out, it was a moot point. I didn't want to rush the research, but I did want to rush the production side of the things. Probably took 2 months from the time I dotted that last period to the time it was on Amazon. And that's probably 4 months quicker than it would have taken me in a traditional press. But now that I know how to do it, I would type it really straight into ebook format from the beginning. And so then it would only take a couple days from that last period to being for sale.